Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Anyway,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 79 of the Badmouth Podcast. Um,
79, huh?
yeah, bitch. Anyway, we recorded
Okay.
an episode not yesterday, last week, and as soon we were like halfway through our Thunderbolts review, and my power went out. Which I knew the power was gonna go out, but I didn't think it was gonna be in this area because there was a piece of paper that Mickey D's put up on their drive-through saying there's a scheduled power outage for 10:30. I was never told of this power outage was going to come over here, but it was literally in the entire area.
Sucks. It sucks. It was a pretty banging episode too. We had a
No, it
lot
wasn't.
to talk about. We had a lot to talk about.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about it now again, and I have some new stuff because that was a week ago, almost.
There's a lot of new stuff. Well, yeah, there
Well,
just depends on your.
some of this stuff on here goes against some of my old stuff, like this first thing right here. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is apparently now coming out in early 2026.
Yeah, this is why you don't announce release dates. I think they had to lock in a release date just to make sure they. Oh, my power strip fell. That's cool. I think they have to lock in a release date, otherwise they can get in trouble. But that sucks. It's not the
Uh,
only thing that got delayed, but yeah.
Speaking of other things that got delayed, before we get to that, there's a I don't that's just an images. I don't know. That's only the first, but they announced the Snake Eyes video game, the GI Joe Snake Eyes, AAA game.
Who the fuck asked for that?
Snake Eyes is awesome. I don't know
I
who
didn't ask
asked
for
for it.
that.
You didn't ask for shit. It's being made by ex developers from Bethesda, Warner Brothers, Marvel, Epic, and others. Apparently,
Hmm.
Snake. It's like making a Wolverine game. That's why they're doing Snake Eyes. They do the most popular character
Is he the most popular character though?
in GI Joe. Yeah, they made a. He has his whole ass movie for just him.
Is he like the Optimus Prime?
I just told you he's like Wolverine in terms of
Oh, Wolverine.
popularity. Not doesn't have like Wolverine powers, but other than that, yeah, that was announced. GTA 6 got delayed till May 26, 2026.
Not surprised. They said the game's dog shit. So
God, I'm about to
in its
fuck.
current state, the guy said it was dog shit.
That's not what they said. Who said that?
It was like a post yesterday.
He didn't say, "Oh yeah, this game is dog shit right now."
He said it's not in a playable, like it needs a lot of work. It's not in a great state.
I'm fucking sick of you.
Nobody cares about that game. Doesn't matter.
That's crazy. That's you don't even believe that.
I
Even you
will
still
not.
say it.
I'm not gonna play it.
It doesn't matter. But the point is more of what you're saying is just false.
Right. Right.
Shut up. Fallout
True.
Season 2 got the release, not, well, at least the release month. I don't know what day it is, but that's coming out in December. That's the TV show. And they also said that the show is going to be around 5 to 6 seasons. And they also announced Season 3, that was already greenlit.
Not surprised. The show's gonna do well regardless. Unless they fuck up like I don't know the whole storyline for like New Vegas. So
I don't know if they're adapting it like that.
oh,
That's a whole ass different character. I also think that was a long time ago in the timeline.
oh really?
But yeah, they said it's going to be around 5 to 6 seasons,
That's
apparently.
pretty cool.
AMC, the theater, said they're going to reduce their menu prices on Wednesdays starting in July by 50% to try to get people in the theater on the weekends or between the weekends. So on Wednesday,
Menu items or movie tickets?
it says AMC will reduce prices. Also, just in everything will be reduced by 50%.
No. Well, fuck AMC.
but that starts in July. That's only on Wednesday apparently. So if you want to watch a movie, see it on Wednesday. Don't isn't Tuesday a thing, or is that just Regal?
No, they both have discount Tuesdays.
Well, now you have two.
Well, Regal's better though, like for their Tuesday deals. I think AMC charges more for their booking fee or whatever the fuck it is.
Anyway, fuck them motherfucking ass, bitch ass, rap motherfucking head ass boy. That's okay.
A lot of bad words.
This is the. I haven't gotten any of my old news stuff. This is all new stuff that I've said, except the GTA thing. Um, this is the road to Secret Wars. There's a little post I found. It was interesting. This is everything coming out between. Well, this is between Thunderbolts all the way to Secret Wars. That's coming out for Marvel. So Thunderbolts, which has already come out. We'll review that later. We're gonna get to that, ladies and gentlemen. Ironheart is the next thing. That's in June 24th. Don't give a shit.
The trailer actually dropped today.
Fuck that trailer. But then Fantastic Four is in July. Then we have Eyes of Wakanda. That's the. I don't know if Black Panther's part of it. Probably at some point, but that's just a
Eyes
little.
of Wakanda.
It's like a little episode series thing.
Really?
But that's in August. Yeah. Then there's Marvel Zombies. That's in October. October 3rd. Wonder
like
Man.
Show? Are these all shows?
Well, Eyes of Wakanda is. Marvel Zombies, I have no idea what that is. Wonder Man.
Animated.
Wonder Man's a show. That's, I think, 8 episodes, whatever. That's in December. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is in March. Then after that comes Doomsday. That's on May 1st, apparently. I thought it was May 2nd. That's Thunderbolts. Never mind. But after that, Spider-Man. July 31st.
Matthew Lillard got cast in Born Again for a small role.
You jumped the gun here.
Well, you said season 2, so
I'm trying to say this, and you're just saying some bullshit to me. Vision Quest. That's to be determined in 2026. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. TBD in 2026. The Punisher special preview thing is in 2026. An untitled Black Panther film is in November 6th, 2026. And then after that is Secret Wars.
it's a lot of filler stuff in between.
That's the lineup.
They announced a new cast member to a brand new day, and they think I just read it right now. They think it might be Miles Morales. They're setting up Miles Morales, maybe, which doesn't really make. Oh, I guess it does make sense because, well, Uncle Aaron was in Homecoming, but they never really expanded on that. We never seen him again until what is that one? Across the Spider-Verse? Or what's the second one?
The animated one?
Oh yeah, he's in that, remember? As a Prowler, like the live action version, yeah. That's the closest we've got to like that character. But yeah, they casted a woman.
Well, that's a little spoiler. I'm gonna have to say it because we're talking about it. But Miles' dad was talked about in Daredevil, Born Again.
Really?
He was brought up, yeah.
Oh man, well that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, well I did kind of spoil myself too about like them saying Spider-Man team up might happen, but there's a rights issue with him being able to.
He's not allowed to be in TV shows or some shit.
Yeah, he's not allowed to be in a TV show, so I don't know how that will work. Maybe they do a movie.
And Fisk isn't allowed to be in movies.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's just weird.
Daredevil can be in both. We'll see.
which for some reason he's not in Doomsday or anything, or at least that we know
Speaking of Doomsday, these are the two comic book sagas that are being adapted into Doomsday. Okay. First one is called Time Runs Out. It is the prelude to Secret Wars, which shows the incursions between realities. And then Avengers Forever, the heroes protect Loki Prime from Doctor Doom. Those are apparently the
of.
storylines being adapted for Doomsday.
Interesting.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow has wrapped filming. Fuck that bitch.
Is anybody even gonna watch that?
Probably. Daniel Wu is currently in the running to land the role of Mr. Negative for Brand New Day. Mr. Sinister is reportedly the main villain of the Marvel X-Men film to come after Secret Wars. Don't really know who that is, but
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Mr. Sinister is a supervillain appearing in Marvel comic books. Let's see what he's about. First mentioned in Uncanny X-Men. He's just a goofy ass looking fella. Character's first mentioned as an employer between the team of assassins. I don't know. We'll get into that later. That won't happen for a while. But Godzilla X Kong Supernova was announced for 2027, but they revealed the title of the movie. I think they also showed -1 sequel as well. It was green.
Yeah. Was that from -1? I thought that was from Kong.
No, the green one was the -1 fella.
Okay.
The only Supernova thing was like The Office showing Monarch or whatever for Supernova.
Oh, like the small teaser.
And that was it. That was all the new stuff. Now we can go to my other stuff.
They showed a picture of RDJ in like a suit with muscles.
I saw that too, yeah. He was in like a muscle suit.
Yeah. But like there's no way he's that jacked. I mean, it's not like
You dissing
impossible.
RDJ? He was pretty jacked in Iron Man 2, but that was a while ago.
He's pretty jacked in Iron Man as well.
Okay, so we already did that. I did that. Marvel is casting teachers. A lot of this is old.
Yeah.
Marvel is casting teachers for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said last time, probably Kirk Connors. Or whatever his name is. Connors, whatever the fuck. I don't care. The lizard fella.
Kirk Connors, yes. Nexus, yes.
I said his name.
Kurt
J.K. Simmons is reportedly going to return as JJJ. J. Jonah Jameson in Brand New Day. I mean, I don't know why not.
Simmons.
Yeah, WSJ released an article. WSJ is fuck. Who was that? Some bullshit article place. But they talked about Marvel. Okay, so we'll start with this. So Feige was against Disney Plus shows, but he saw the potential in them. Marvel is going through a trans. Yeah.
I think that just depends on the show though. Like who the fuck's looking forward to Ironheart? Nobody.
Maybe if it came right after a Black Panther movie.
Yeah, it's taken so long to just come out.
Marvel's going through a transition where quality is key. The first movie to hit that was Thunderbolts, which I can see it. Feige was aware of the many misses of Phase 4 and 5 and is course correcting. That's kind of similar to the previous thing. Kevin Feige. Well, you're a glazer.
I'm not a glazer. I just think people were a little too harsh. But like Brave New World and I talked about this last time. Brave New World and Thunderbolts completely feel different quality wise. Like as much as I like Brave New World, it feels like one big like Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode, whereas Thunderbolts feels like an actual film, like an actual movie.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just different. The style is just different. Just feels one feels like a TV show, the other feels like an actual like they cared to put the work into the movie. Not saying they didn't for Brave New World. It's just I think all the reshoots and rewrites fucked it up. What they originally had planned.
Kevin Feige was
But
so stop talking. Kevin Feige was so spread out that it was already too late when he finally offered his advice on multiple projects. That's the article.
mm-hmm.
All right, according to rumors, the leader will appear in Avengers Doomsday as the secondary villain working for Doctor Doom. He'll be like a kind of like a Nosferatu, that fucking freak that was eating the rats or whatever.
Oh yeah. Like what do they call it? A familiar, like the servant.
Who basically do his bidding. He'll do shit for
That
him. He'll bait them in, and then
that's
Doom will come
fucking
in.
wild. Because you got like this I guess the smartest dude with the most like powerful dude together. So that's pretty crazy.
But that is a rumor. We'll see if that's true. According to Chris Claremont, Avengers Doomsday will feature the return of Psylocke, last seen in X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah. Wolverine is going to kill someone important. Elizabeth Olsen will be the good Scarlet Witch. And RDJ will play multiple characters, including Iron Man, and Chris Evans will be Captain Hydra. But like we said
Mm-hmm.
last time when we did this, why would he say all these things?
Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt.
But
But
Chris Claremont is the writer of the Uncanny X-Men comics.
mm,
So he would have made that Mr. Sinister guy was actually him.
oh.
But yeah, we'll see. Because I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Olsen's not even announced as a character in the movie. Or Scarlet Witch. Or the Psylocke chick. Or Wolverine. Or Chris Evans. None of them are even confirmed to be in the movie. So he's just saying shit. Honestly, fuck that guy.
In Doomsday?
Yeah, none of those people except RDJ have been announced for the movie.
I thought Chris Evans was announced
When? He wasn't part
during
of that lineup.
oh he wasn't? Oh.
But other than that, the first Stranger Things season 5 trailer is dropping May 31st.
What?
If you're into that, I am. I will be watching it. HBO Max has officially announced the Harry Potter series.
They also announced they're changing their name back to HBO Max.
That was a lie, I'm pretty sure.
It's a lie. It's all
The
over
thing,
social
the
media.
thing I saw said it was not true.
Oh. Well, it doesn't matter to me.
But that was pretty much all the big stuff. Ian McDiarmid?
McKellen.
No.
McDermott? Oh, Palpatine?
Palpatine, he was asked, "Do you think Palpatine fucks?" He replied by saying, "Does this evil monster ever have sex?" And we don't really know the answer to that question.
But when I answered this last time, he they wrote that he had a kid and they were the parents of Ray. So he did go deep inside.
He did cream pie somebody.
Yep. And I think that was just poorly written and but yeah, he does have a I'm pretty sure he kills them looking for Ray.
Wow.
But yeah,
There's
those movies don't matter.
a sequel to Sisu will release on May 20 or November 21st. I wouldn't be
Which
surprised
is
if a lot of people don't even know what that movie is, but it was pretty pretty graphic. It's
I
just a
didn't
dude
know
that
until
killing
you told me.
Nazis.
You said it was like the German John Wick or something.
Something like that. Let me see. I don't know what race he is. During the last days of World War II, a solitary prospector crosses paths with Nazis on a scorched earth retreat in northern Finland. When they decide to steal his gold, they quickly discover they just tangled with no ordinary man. He just kills all the Nazis, basically, that try to steal his gold.
Is he a leprechaun?
No, he was mining
He
out there
stole me.
and he
Stole me
found
gold.
gold. Now, those you should see this shit. It's graphic.
I'll have to check it out. I never knew who it was.
He's not a fucking leprechaun. And also, if they
There's
make
no.
a fucking another leprechaun movie, it's your fucking head.
We need a Leprechaun Legacy sequel at this point too.
Absolutely
Every,
not. Every single
everybody's
one of
getting
those movies is terrible,
a. They're fucking funny.
especially
The
in
first.
the hood.
Oh yeah, those are terrible. In Space, In the Hood, and everything after that. The first three are good.
Not some bullshit.
First three are good.
That was all my stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I got nothing.
Great. We're gonna review The Last of Us episode 3, 4, and 5
Oh god.
quickly.
Yeah, I can't talk about it very long
You seem to like to though.
because it's so fucking dog shit. How they greenlight that? How did they greenlight it? How did they sit in the writers' room and be like, this seems like a good idea? I think they're purposefully fucking up Ellie's arc, like on purpose. And then they're putting all the focus on Abby's storyline. This should episode 3 was. I think episode 2 was probably their best episode so far. Um,
Oh yeah.
besides them killing Joel and shit, but they had a lot of cool moments, the horde and shit like that. That was almost pretty much like spot on to the game, and that was pretty cool to see. Um, episode 3 was like a filler episode, kind of. It just took place over the course of 3 months because Ellie was, well, she had broken ribs or some bullshit.
Yeah.
So she had to do that and some psych evaluation with the therapist. Um, so yeah, it was a big filler episode, and nobody, they're trying to rebuild Jackson and things like that after the horde fight, and they decline Ellie's request to go after Abby, just to take a small group to go after Abby. They denied the request, but she does it anyway. What's the next 2 episodes that are fucking dog water? We're gonna get there.
Keep going.
All right. Well, episode 4 is day 1, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
On their first day to heading to Seattle, and it's just they're just doing nothing but yapping. Like you can't even tell it's a revenge story because they're just too busy like lollygagging around.
Before we talk about them, we gotta talk about. I think the only good character in that episode was Isaac,
Isaac was pretty threatening.
because
He did a good job.
they showed some stuff before the Fedra went all the way out, and he kills the dudes in the back of that truck or
Hmm.
whatever. Just walks, throws 2 nades, shuts the door, locks him, and he kills Josh Peck. He's one of them.
Yeah.
They're talking about jizz or whatever. I don't know what that was, but
Talk about some weird shit. Kind of pointless.
but then he kills them.
Hmm.
He was baiting them and then kills them.
He's pretty menacing. And he teams up with the WLF, I'm guessing, right? She was the leader of WLF.
I guess she still is. She was in the
Yeah.
5th episode.
Yeah. I don't,
She's not in the game. I don't know.
or at least maybe Isaac is, I don't know, but I think she's the leader of the WLF. But
And that
he
little
was a
kid
bit.
dies.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Her daddy gives her a hammer, and then she just dies off screen.
The scars, yeah, the scars got ambushed or whatever off screen. But what else? Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think Isaac and
they teleport to the TV station.
they teleport everywhere actually. It's like they're just walking, they run into some trouble, and then they end up at their location. It's just like, what? The whole show's just rushed. The best part about episode 4 was definitely Isaac and
Oh yeah,
like
that's when he also is interrogating that guy, and he like burns his skin. with the frying pan,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can see his
The
cock, and you kept
top.
looking at it.
You see his wiener.
His
His
meat, his
distraction.
bush, his balls,
Yeah, that guy was built
untrimmed
weird.
bush, untrimmed bush. He's fucking skinny. What do you want?
His face was all fucked up, like
But
even without
then,
the makeup.
well, yeah, he got a scar. He has to cut himself for the mother or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then Isaac just kills him because he's not gonna say anything. That's the episode. Oh yeah, wait. That's at least the Isaac side. Because they go to the TV
And
station, they find the hang people, then they run
they
into.
only they only killed two people. There's only two guards apparently in the TV station. Um, Ellie is probably her arc and her Bella Ramsey's acting in this season is just awful. She's like so undecided of who she wants to be. It's honestly laughable. Uh, um,
Maybe you should play Ellie
no,
and shut up.
no. The best character in the show is by far is Dina. I mean, she's like
It's
pretty much the
Dora.
main
It's
character
Dora.
at this point.
It's
Dora,
Dora.
sorry, Dora's pretty much the main character. It's not even Ellie. Like, um, then some cringe shit happens at the end of the episode.
Because Ellie gets bit, Dina sees her get bit. She's then
Hmm.
threatening to kill Ellie. Ellie's like, I'm immune. Then they both go to sleep basically. Ellie gets Chinese water tortured and wakes up. And then Dina says, I'm pregnant. And then they instantly, literally instantly start fucking.
It's so awkward. Like it just comes out of nowhere. Like, how do you get turned on from that? And then it's like you watch her finger fuck Dina, and
Dora.
then that's not even the cringiest part.
Yeah.
After they're done fucking, they wake up the next day, and she's like, "I don't want to kiss you because morning breath. Ew." So they both eat jerky to wash the taste out of morning breath out of their mouth. Dina made jerky apparently, and then Allie says, "I'm gonna be a dad."
Well, yeah. What? That's
That's
what
so
you do.
fucking cringe.
You're fucking
She's not.
cringe.
She's not a dude.
You just don't understand.
And they never. Here's the thing. They never establish
Here's the thing.
at all that Ellie and Dina were ever in a relationship. They kissed at the party. They were in the tent together that night. Dina says, "I'm back with Jesse." And then next episode, they're fucking, and
She
she's
lied.
pregnant. I don't think she lied, but she's pregnant, and all of a sudden, fuck Jesse. I guess
Yep,
there's one
fuck
thing I was
Jesse.
thinking about last night, but I'll wait until we get to the next episode because it actually cracked me up. I don't know if the writers specifically, like, purposefully changed that or added that in because of the how the game treated the men, but it's actually pretty funny. I didn't think about it until last night. I was saving it for the pod, but the episode was cringe. It was definitely like I want to say the worst, almost the worst one. Episode 5 is the worst, but
Well, that's the episode. Just keep going.
all right. So episode 5 is not called Day 2. It's just called uh, Feel Her Love or some shit. And another rushed episode.
You're
Apparently,
fucking rushed.
they're just going places like there's no infected anywhere. The change that they made to the infected is stupid. They all live underground. They're only coming out if you fuck with their hive. Like the fungus, wherever it's at, is attracted by heat, which alerts the horde. Um, which also nobody's really talking about. The Where do they go? They go to the theater somehow. The horse is gone magically, though I think they killed the horse off screen. Um, every guard in this, every WLF member has terrible aim. They just let people walk wherever they want until the plot tells them to, like, you know, get killed or whatever. There is one dog in the episode though, but nothing ever happens. They just fuck off. Like Ellie sneaks into a tunnel. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but just talking about all the shit I didn't like. I honestly forgot what the episode was about.
It was about going to the hospital.
Oh, to find Nora. Right. It's so forgettable. The episode is so forgettable. I was so pissed off, like watching it.
This is what happens.
Ellie.
It's they're trying to get to the hospital. They wait. Well, yeah, the hospital. They wait till nighttime. They go to the long building, whatever they called it. They get to the long building at night, and then there's the fucking stalkers in there, like 12 of them or whatever.
Mhm.
And then
I'm pretty sure Ellie gets bit multiple times.
she gets
There's no
bit.
way she did.
She probably did. I don't know. Yeah, they're all fighting them and shit. Ellie told Dina to go into the cage. They go into the cage. They're getting shit on, and then Jesse shows up.
Somehow tracks them down.
Yeah, he found their map.
Right.
That's what he
Here's the
said.
funny. Here's the funny thing though. Yeah, they were getting shit on, getting ready to die. Jesse clowns Ellie and Dina. Like, I don't know what this was like, because this, and if you ever played the second game, obviously you know that all the men were either killed off or treated like they were nothing. The All the men were weak, and all this shit, and all the women were strong. Whereas the show, Jesse kind of makes a little gag at it. I feel like they make a gag at the game, but he's just like, yeah, you were safe until you weren't, or you didn't need help until you did, something like that. He says something like that. Whereas they actually needed, like a guy's help, or just help in general. It wasn't like they could do it on their own. They actually needed help. I thought that was a little funny gag at the game for me.
That's what she
But
saved.
yeah, that's what I
I'm
got from that.
I'm pretty disappointed. I was expecting something else.
I think there was something else, but I forgot. But anyway,
Well, it
the
doesn't matter. Well,
story's rushed.
they get ran into the fucking Seattle Park, whatever, and then that's where they see the dude getting gutted by
The scars.
the fucking fella, the Scar fella, and then Dina gets hit in the leg by the crossbow. Or
Hmm.
Dora, sorry, Dora gets hit, and then Jesse runs off with Dina, and then Ellie runs the opposite direction. She beelines the hospital basically without
Yeah,
knowing.
she just shows up at the hospital and yeah.
But then yeah, she goes in the hospital and it pretty much plays out like the game after that.
She's also not killing anybody, so I think they're trying to take like the the killing or revenge is bad storyline out of the show. She kills like maybe a few people, not as much as in the game. It's pretty much they're able to walk around freely. Because there's no infected, and the guards are stupid as fuck.
And
But
they
yes,
added the spores to this episode.
yeah, for whatever reason. Which is another, I feel like it's another plot hole in itself, because they're categorizing it as like something new they never encountered before. But how do we know that Ellie's immune to spores? We know she's immune to bites, but that the spores are something new and they never experienced it before. How do they know that she's immune to that? It just doesn't make sense because they never established spores in the first season. So I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. I did think that the spore part was pretty cool. Like how they were spitting out the spores from the infected down there. I thought that was pretty dope. But yeah, I mean they never established anything about the spores in season one, so are we just automatically assuming she's immune to spores? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Just because she's immune to bites doesn't mean that the spores are the same, or even the stalkers. Like she's gotten bit by a stalker, probably more than once at this point. How do we know it's not a different strain since they're smarter? How do we know it's not a different strain of the cordyceps? Like there's just things that we don't know that they're not explaining. That's my little rant.
You're just talking about some
The
bullshit. I know. Like, I don't even...
It just makes sense though. Like we don't know why. How should we know she's immune to spores? They never established any of that unless it comes later in a flashback. You know, where they run into spores. Then I think I call bullshit. I call bullshit and shitty writing. It's a dog shit show. Anybody defending the show is just no offense. Uh, they have shitty taste. It's
Anyway,
nothing. It's actually nothing like the game, and all the people that love the second game hate the season. So I don't know. I don't know.
she kills Nora.
But she kills Nora, and Nora tells her what Joel did, which I don't think Ellie finds that out until later on her own. Um, in the recorder that she finds in some Firefly camp or some shit. I can't remember.
Oh, I think in the game it
But
was like a flashback, and then she goes back to the hospital.
all right, but she finds out on her own. That's the point I was trying to make. Not fucking get told. And then all of a sudden Ellie doesn't care what he did. When she was mad at him for ever for that exact reason. And now all of a sudden she's not mad at him for doing that. As far as we know. The next episode, Joel apparently does tell her the truth. So whatever.
That's the episodes
I just
so
can't believe
far.
there's only seven episodes of this shit. I think if they made either longer episodes or just more episodes in general, they could have more time to explore the story better. But I don't know. I think they're missing. They completely dropped the ball with a lot of things, and the plot for Revenge is just kind of like a side quest at this point. Most of the time, it's just Dora and Ellie lollygagging and yapping constantly.
Kind of like you right
So
now.
yeah, but I actually have like a purpose to like roast this show, whereas they're just fucking around.
Anyway, that's the last of the show so far. Tune in
It's
next week for episode 6, where
pretty
I'm pretty sure it's
forgettable.
all the flashbacks with Joel.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, I think
And then
mainly the fucking museum one. I think, but
yeah, I think everybody's assuming that the final episode will be Abby showing up at the theater.
there's still a bunch of day 3 stuff. She goes to the aquarium. She kills. Spoilers for the video game if you haven't played it. She goes to the aquarium. She kills the pregnant chick and Owen.
Oh, what's her name? Mel.
Mel, yeah. She kills Mel and Owen at the house, or at the whatever, and the dog. She kills that dog too.
Can't kill no dog.
There's no dog to kill. Um,
They're not killing any animals in this show.
I hope it's a cat if they do.
Shut up.
But that's the show
Ugh.
so far.
It's just
Just
yeah.
shut up.
She's gonna magically end up at the aquarium. You know.
Right down, yeah, that's the show so far. Moving on to, we're gonna talk about Thunderbolts. And we're gonna do this. We're only gonna review major spots of the film. We're gonna do a non-spoiler first, and then we're gonna talk about just the major points in the film. Okay, not fucking scene by scene. But okay, non-spoiler. I really, really enjoyed it. Uh, I don't know if I mean, everyone knows Sentry's in it. I would say Sentry is now my favorite. Well, I guess not necessarily Sentry, but just him in general. Bob, Sentry, Void, all of that, all in one, is now my favorite MCU character.
Yeah, he's I think he's become my favorite also. He was really, I mean, I don't know what he's like in the comics. We're gonna touch up on that when we do the Century lore later on. But as a character in live action, he was he really stole the show for me. Like he was really entertaining. You could feel his pain. Um, he just wanted to be. He didn't have a purpose, which is why he did the whole experiment. But yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was great. Um, I thought the pacing was good. There's a lot going on. It's pretty dark, um, like really dark at times. And by dark, I mean like emotion wise. Um, it had a shit ton of comedy that was actually like believable and funny. Not didn't feel forced like at all. Everybody's character development was great. Um, and but you really, I think the as much people are as that are in the movie, the main characters are for sure Bob and Elena.
That's definitely Elena's movie.
Yeah, but um, Bob, I feel like Bob kind of is helping her with his power or whatever to kind of close that door on guilt and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely they really focus on Elena a lot. That's kind of like my non-spoiler review. I give it like a 9 out of 10.
I said 9.5. If you look at Letterbox, then I just said 5.
Yeah,
5 of.
it's doing well. It's definitely a great movie.
All right, now we're doing spoilers. If you don't want to listen to spoilers, then just turn the pod off at this point. Make sure you like it though first before you
Yeah,
leave.
yeah. Make sure you give it 5 stars. Like it on YouTube.
Fuck AMC, all that shit, and yeah, whatever. They actually updated the dashboard for the pod to show where the listens are coming from for everything.
Oh, really? Like mobile or desktop?
No, like Apple, Spotify, wherever the fuck else it
Oh,
is.
that's pretty cool.
Anyway, spoiler review for the movie. Like I said, we're just gonna do major scenes, so we're not here for 10 years. Uh, might as well. The opening of the movie, like you said, it's a Yelena film, basically.
Opening credits are different as well.
Oh yeah, the opening
If anybody
credits.
pays attention, um, that shows the void's darkness, but the intro is all villains. It's not heroes. So that was a pretty cool take on that I
Yeah,
noticed.
it's like the Marvel logo, how it usually opens, and there's like all the movie scenes inside the logo, and then, but now it's the villains, and then as it's zooming out, the void darkness starts to take over the logo.
Which is pretty cool. I like that.
But the movie opens with Elena on top of the second tallest building in the world. I forget what it's called, but she jumps off. She's doing her shit. She's
I
doing
think she
like a
really did
speech.
that. I think didn't they say she really did that stunt?
Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. I'd be fucking scared
Well, she was on a
shitless. Like,
wire. She didn't actually jump off the building.
oh yeah, but I still wouldn't do it even with the wire.
We should go do that.
Fuck no.
We some kind of pussy?
Yeah, I am.
You'll go on Goliath, but not jump off a building?
Yeah, 'cause at least there, I'm fucking locked in. I'm not going
You locked
anywhere.
in. Yeah, that thing could fuck up as much as that jumping off that building could.
Yeah, but at least I'm locked in. I'm not falling straight down to my death.
With Goliath, that's exactly what we would do. We would launch off. And
Oh
it's
yeah, I
the
mean, but
tallest shit in that park.
I wouldn't maybe I wouldn't see it coming.
I would snip your shit so that you would fall, so don't get on it. But yeah, she jumps off the building. She's doing a speech about how she feels like empty or whatever.
Lost, empty,
Lost,
alone.
empty, or possibly bored. That was the joke of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just bored. But yeah, that's the opening. She ends up in the Sentry Lab or whatever they call it to get the Sentry Serum. That's what she's going for, to destroy it, or she's there to destroy the lab or something.
Yeah, she's there to show the lab.
But she finds a
Oh yeah.
vial of the Sentry Serum. That's actually where she gets the. No, it's not. Is it? She sees documents of the Sentry Soldier,
Hmm.
but then eventually they find it. They more when they're in that other place. But yeah, that's the beginning, and she blows up the lab. But you have to remember this lab because we're going to come back to it at the end in a different way because it's being blown up. But we're going to move ahead of time. We're going to move ahead a little bit.
Well, she's also talking about, before we segue into the next part. Basically, after that job's done, she's doing jobs for Valentina, destroying evidence of the Century program, but she wants to be good. She's tired of being like the bad guy, or anti-hero or whatever. So she wants to do some good, be a public face. So that segues into the moral of the story for every character later on.
Yeah. I guess real quick, this is not a big, massive scene, but she does go to see Alexei, the Red Guardian,
AKA Dad.
aka Hello Dad. Yeah, she goes to see Alexei real quick, and that's when he first comes in the movie. Just didn't want to forget that.
Yeah, and they pretty much talk about the same thing. Like, she's lacking purpose.
She
She's tired of
asks, she
the
like
same
asks
job.
him, "Are you happy with your life?" He says, "Yes." And then he's like, "I'll work for Valentina." He's like, "Elena, I was lying. I'm miserable here."
I want job.
Yeah, but he runs like a limo business, there's a real number you can call for that as well, and he'll like answer the phone and shit.
Oh, really? That's pretty funny.
But then we skip ahead a little bit. Yelena calls Valentina. Valentina says, "Okay, do this last job, and then we'll get you something in the spotlight or whatever." She says, but
Hmm.
she's being sent to kill her. She's being sent to kill Ghost at this lab that they want to kill Yelena, John, or U.S. agent, Ghost, uh, fucking who else is there? Who's the other one?
That's
Taskmaster. They all want
that's
basically they want them all to kill each other, and then they're gonna burn the room with all the evidence in it.
Yeah, it's like some off base, like middle of nowhere facility, lockdown facility. But Ghost was able to just phase through. So that's the whole point of that scene. Yeah, they were all. I think John was there to kill all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other two were there to kill each other, or the other three were there to kill each other. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure John was there to kill all of them.
yeah, they're all fighting, and then at some point they knock
Pretty
Bob out of his like bed thing.
pretty badass fight scene, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. The fight scenes are dope as fuck.
Yeah, they knock Bob out. Yeah, Taskmaster dies within like 5 minutes.
It's a ghost shooting her in the face.
She gets pieced up by just dome shot. Boom, dead.
Wait, did you just say pieced up?
She gets pieced up. Yeah, she does get pieced up.
She does. She gets. Fuck, that's so stupid though, because she was like the strongest thing. She's like, oh, she mimics the Avengers and shit like that, and then she just gets shot in the face. I thought that was pretty funny.
But yeah, she's marketed as being in the movie. I hope you don't like her character because if you do, she's
She's
not
dead.
there. She's
She's
not in the
gone.
movie at all. She's like 5 minutes, and that's it. But yeah, the Bob comes out. They're like, "How did you get in here?" He's like, "I have no idea." And then they like don't believe him. But then they realize they're in a furnace, basically. So they need to work together to get out. We'll skip ahead a little bit. They get out of the room. I guess we need to say this: the room blows up because Ghost gets them out, and then Bob and Yelena, or Yelena lands on like near Bob and is touching him. And if you don't know, Bob is Sentry. If that wasn't made clear enough. But they're touching each other, and Yelena goes into the void. and sees her, I guess, biggest mistake she's made in her life, or at least one of them.
Hmm. That scene was fucked up. I was not expecting that.
But yeah,
Yeah,
then she
she
comes
said
out of it.
she sets up like I'm guessing it's somebody else from the red room, or I don't know. Maybe it was a random person, a random friend of hers. Yeah, she sets her up to do her first kill. I think it was her first kill.
I think the guy kills her, but she like baits her into getting killed.
Well, first job, I guess. What I mean, her first job as a kid.
But yeah, but then she breaks out of it. She like sees Bob, and then she like comes out of it.
And he kind of looks at her like,
He's like, "What the hell was that?"
yeah, like in shock. Whenever he touches people, he could see their past regret, I guess. Biggest regret.
But then they need to go up this tube because they're like really deep in this building factory thing facility.
Mhm.
And then Bob comes up with the idea to. Well, first I guess John like launches himself up, doesn't make it obviously, and then falls. But then Bob decides, hey, let's go back to back, put pressure on this, and we'll just climb up the wall. Which I guess in a way it does make an asterisk. It's a little too many legs,
Yeah.
but it does
I don't
kind
know
of
if
make an
anybody,
asterisk.
I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I think that's what the asterisk means in the title. Uh, yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like,
Well, I
oh
think the asterisk
shit.
is supposed to mean placeholder
Oh, really?
because the real
Oh.
name is New Avengers.
But then it also has an asterisk still.
Uh,
But it's
hey,
funny if you don't catch that in the movie. The camera's like looking down, and then you could see them. You could see the shape of the asterisk.
basically they get up the tube, and then again John grabs Bob's hand, and he sees part of his past, where his kid is crying and his wife is like yelling at him.
She's being a
But
bitch.
no, I think someone actually was talking about this, and they're saying the reason his wife was mad is because his baby was crying, and he was paying attention to the phone more,
Well, he was reading an article about his downfall. So I mean,
and not paying attention to his child that is crying right in front of him.
sometimes you got to let them cry it out.
But
You
the
can't
whole
baby them all the time.
that's the point in the fucking movie.
You can't baby
That's
them
what
all
I'm
the time.
saying. We're talking about a kid that doesn't matter. But yeah,
Right.
he sees that, and then he snaps out of it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then they fuck off, basically outside.
Well, there's a big fight scene because Valentina takes a task force there to kill them because they didn't die in the explosion. So they had to come up with a plan to get out, escape, and shit like that. Pretty cool scene. Um,
Yeah, let's just skip ahead a little bit. So they get into this truck
well,
thing.
first, this is how they find out Bob has powers.
We're getting to that.
Oh,
They get into this truck thing. They get stopped at the exit, I guess. And he's telling John to, hey, take your mask off so I can see you, pretty much. And he's like, he's basically saying no, whatnot. And then Bob is in the back because they put him in the back, and they're in uniforms. They're in like the military uniforms. He takes it off and he grabs a gun. He starts shooting. He he's pulling him towards him. And then Valentina's saying, "Don't kill him. We want him." Right. But then they decide to shoot him up anyway. But then
because he's the only one. He's the only one that survived the Sentry program. That's why she needs him alive.
but they gun him
You get
down. He
you're
stands
getting a
up.
little sidetracked, buddy.
How am I getting sidetracked? I'm talking about the scene.
Yeah, but you're missing the point of why Bob is Bob. Just continue.
I'm trying if you'd shut the fuck up. But he stands up and he turns into the Sentry fully. Kind of, I
After they
guess.
after they blast his ass.
He stands up, his eyes turn yellow, or whatever they do. And then he launches up uncontrollably into the air. Then he plummets into the ground. And
That was
then,
pretty funny.
and then, yeah. And then he crashes the truck that the other three were in.
And then they assume he's dead, so they leave.
And they assume he's dead. They fuck off. And then, yeah, he's not dead, obviously. But then they go and capture Bob. They put him in like a box or whatever. And they take him to, I guess, New York.
Mm.
But yeah, that was the first, I guess, yeah, Act 1. And then, this is taking forever to talk about this shit.
I'll just go Act 2, Bucky. Now Bucky's trying to capture the rest of the team because he wants to go after Valentina, but to turn her in, not to kill her. They want to kill her, and he wants to take her in and for her crimes. So he assembles their team to go after her in New York. I don't think anything really happens in I don't think much happens in this time. I mean, that I can remember anyway, besides them going after her.
Well, Lexi shows up, picks them up, the three of them.
Yeah.
But Lexi basically overhears Valentina that she's trying to kill Yelena, which by the time it matters, it's way gone. 30 out. But yeah, he finds them, picks up Ghost, John, and Yelena. Those are the three that are together. He finds them, blah, 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 that happening. And then Bucky, a bunch of fucking military dudes show up. And then Bucky also shows up, goes Terminator 2 on the military team. And then he captures them. He basically takes out the military team, and then they're like, hell yeah. And then he takes out the limo that they're in to capture them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then we'll skip ahead a little bit. Then they all go to New York together. And they go to the Avengers Tower, because that's the building that Valentina bought the building.
Mm-hmm.
For herself, I guess. But yeah, then this is when the Sentry first comes out. And this whole sequence from them crashing into the building to pretty much from when they crash into the building towards the end of the movie is insane. It's pretty good the whole movie's good, but like from that moment on is when basically the main plot of the film starts.
Yeah, it kind of segues into the third act really fast. I didn't think that was like the end of the movie already. Didn't feel like it.
The second act is basically Bucky capturing them and then them fighting Sentry, and then once they exit the building, Act 3 starts pretty much. I guess Act 3 is, we'll skip it a little bit. They get shit on by Sentry or Bob. They get shit on. Absolutely destroyed.
His powers were insane. They're really fucking cool. He's like indestructible.
But he shits on him.
He would shit on Superman, 100%. Just saying.
Maybe.
He just fucking void him away.
But that's the Void.
Oh yeah, true. But still, if he turned into the Void, he just void him away. But as Sentry, OP as fuck.
Sentry OP. He can melt stuff. He can catch things. He can throw things with his mind.
He could stop bullets. He could stop bullets, yeah, and he could. It's just crazy. He's like.
He was in the middle of melting Bucky's arm, which is vibranium. And then he just rips it off and then knocks him out with it. Like, bro got knocked out by his own arm.
That's embarrassing.
But yeah, so yeah, and this fight was Bucky, Yelena, Ghost, John, and Red Guardian. They all got shit on. Then they fuck off, and then Valentina and Sentry are talking. I'm gonna call him Bob.
Well, they all kind of. First of all, they all break up because they know they're not gonna beat them, and they're not strong enough, so they all go their separate ways.
Let's call him Bob though.
Yeah, Bob. Bob's cool. Bob.
We'll just call him Bob. This ain't like a preacher. This ain't a fucking preacher boy situation.
That preacher boy.
We're just gonna call him Bob.
Preacher boy Bob.
But Sentry and Valentina are talking, right? And this is, I think, is when Act 3 starts, or I guess Act 2.
Yeah.
This is when Act 2 ends. I think is when Sentry is starting to turn into the Void, basically right there in that scene. Because he's like, he's like, why would I take orders from you? You said I'm as strong as all the Avengers packed into one, and I'm pretty sure at least one of them is a god, or whatever, however he says it.
Yeah, so God doesn't take orders from you or some
Like,
shit.
why would a god take orders from you? But then she has this like kill switch for Sentry, but they didn't take into effect that he's also the Void, which then takes over once he dies.
Mm.
Which I don't know if I guess he didn't really die, but they think he's dead. Valentina's assistant hits the button and zaps him basically. And then that's, I think, when Act 3 starts, is when I guess it would be when Alexi's talking to Yelena. One of the not like that. It's not the moment that made me tear up, but that was
It's
also
pretty
sad.
sad. So pretty sad. I really felt that scene. Like it was a good speech, and I think a lot of people could relate to Yelena and Alexei, and I mean all of them really, but really Yelena, like feeling like a loser and things like that. So it was a dope speech, and then everything just kind of happens after that.
I don't even know how they notice because I know they
He,
turn around and they see him.
I think shit starts falling, um, buildings start falling and shit like that, and then
Yeah, then
he's
basically you
pointing.
see the Void up above the tower, and then he kills the. Well, they start shooting at him. It's not doing a goddamn thing
I think it's the helicopters. I think the helicopters. I think he destroys the helicopters, and that's how everything starts.
because the helicopter hits like the crane thing that's working on the building, and then it starts crumbling everything around it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then they become like superheroes. They start saving some fellas and old people, fellas and women, honestly, just all of them. They start saving people as the
There's a
Void is
kid.
just
There's a
vanishing
kid as
people.
well. There's a kid there too.
We're getting there, buddy.
Oh,
They're killing all these fellas, and the Bucky hits a fucking whole ass like van thing away with his arm. Alexei saves a kid. He's like, "Little girl, you are safe now." And then boom, she gets voided.
that was fucked. I was like, what?
Just right in
I'm
front of
looking
her.
for my
Boom.
mom. Boom, dead. Well, not dead, but
She gets sent to the void, and then I think the part of New York. I think they're in Manhattan, but he pretty much by the end of his whole void shit, he takes over all of Manhattan. I think that's the
mhm.
part of New York it is. The Middle Island. I don't know.
Never been, so I don't know.
But yeah, he takes over a whole section. But eventually, as the before that happens, the void darkness is creeping through, and Yelena basically looks back and decides right then and there, I'm gonna walk into it. Which I think she doesn't know what's gonna happen, but I think it's a 50-50. I want to kill myself, but also there's a chance I can see Bob because she knows that she saw Bob before in the void.
Yeah, it definitely is 50-50. I think she really wanted to off herself at that point, but yeah.
Yeah, then she gets sent into the void. Which then we see the scene where her younger self is getting the friend to come over, and then the dude kills her. She tries to stop it, and then when she tries to stop it, they interact with her saying it's too late for that, and then she dies anyway.
It's pretty much like a big loop. It's like a just a loop vision, or yeah.
Then I think she like, no, she's like running and she runs into a wall, and then it loops again, and then she like breaks through it,
Mhm.
and then this is when she breaks into like that room where they have to like put the gun together, and she wins that, and then they whip the hands of all the other girls in the red room.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And that's when she sees Bob in the mirror, tries to talk to him. Nothing happens. He doesn't like interact with it. And then I think no, I think she like breaks into she like shoots the mirror. And then she walks in, and then it's in the bathroom scene where she chokes herself out.
Right. Yeah.
It's like her laying on the ground, and then she goes, Then I think she sees Bob again in that mirror, and then gets into the room that he's in, or she like calls for him, or something happens, and she gets into the room with Bob. And this is just Bob. This isn't Sentry or Void. This is just Bob. And then this is when it really starts to get sad.
Yeah, we're in his.
Now we're in his Void like box.
Yeah. We can see his memory. It's pretty fucked up.
And I think he says this is like the nicest one I've been able to find or whatever.
Yeah, the nicest room.
And before we continue, I saw this on Twitter, someone was talking about it, but during the film, Alexei, or Red Guardian, is telling Yelena, you light up the room. Or like whatever he says, something like that. Whenever you light up, whenever you come into the room, you light it up or whatever. And when come back to this scene with Bob, whenever she touches him, the room lights up. And then when Bob looks away, the room darkens again. Which I didn't notice, but that was a
thing. The more you know.
So when you're watching it, just look for that. It's pretty cool. I didn't notice when it was happening, but it is there. But yeah, then there's like, I guess we can go back to the outside of the void because the others haven't been taken over by the void yet. They're basically saying, we don't know what's going to happen if we go in there.
Because they want to go after Atlanta, but they don't know if they're going to die.
But then eventually they do just fucking go for it. Then we come back to Yelena and Bob talking, and this is when we first see the bad room that Bob was talking about, which is his dad was a fucking piece of shit scumbag loser, fucking rat, fucking asshole, other things. And his mother was basically saying to stop trying to do anything because you're just making it worse. You always make things worse and all that shit. And he says, oh, it's okay. It'll end eventually. Because you can, like, see down into that, like, memory or whatever.
I think he gets hit by his dad, too, no?
In that scene, yeah. But eventually, we'll skip ahead a little bit more. Eventually, the room starts attacking them because he's starting to, like, fight against the void. And then the room starts attacking them. And he says, it won't kill you. The pain will just, like, ease up or whatever eventually. You'll just get used to it or something. But he says it won't kill you. But eventually the rest of the Thunderbolt fellas break in. And there was some people complaining that we didn't get to see everyone else's trauma boxes. Mostly Bucky. But it's like we've already had 3 movies talking about it.
Yeah, we didn't need to see that. He already
and he already got himself fixed.
Yeah, so it wasn't. I don't see a point in going back revisiting that. I mean, I guess the main thing would have been him killing Tony Stark's parents, but we've already seen that. I don't think we ever seen Yelena's part, or Bob. I mean, Bob's in character. We've seen John Walker's story. And Ghost is kind of like,
we never see any of her stuff. Well, I guess you kind of do in Ant-Man, the Wasp, but
her parents die and she lives. But I mean, it's not really bad. I mean, it is bad, but it's not really like it.
Your parents are just not that bad. Like, come on.
I mean, it's not. That's not what I mean. Her arc's not as bad as Bob's and Yelena's. But I would have liked to see maybe a small thing for that though. He also does the same thing with Valentina. Valentina had a pretty dark.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Where
she's talking to him.
Yeah. When she's hyping him up to be the Sentry. But that's way before. But yeah, he does it with her too. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, they
This is where
break in. This break in. They save. They save Yelena and Bob. They then, uh, they start heading out. They basically are asking like Bob, "How do we get out of here?" And they basically come to the conclusion that to get out of there, they need to go to the worst place. Which, before we get to that, uh, when they're leaving that room and they go into the memory with his dad at the dinner table scene again, there was a scene where it's John hits the dad, which a lot of people were saying was basically his character. Since he was a bad dad, he was like hitting someone else that was a bad dad to, like, I guess, help himself or something. I forgot how they worded it, but it was another bad dad stopping a previous bad father. Or I forgot how they worded it, but it made sense. Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it was because he's the one that hits Bob's fucking father, dude. Whatever. Man, fuck you. But then we get to the lab. Now we're in the lab memory.
Where it all started.
This is where he gets. This is where they find the void, basically. But yeah, they find the void fella.
Basically.
And once they enter the lab, to the end of the lab, the whole lab sequence is absolutely insane.
There's a lot going on. A lot of emotions.
The emotions, this is where I teared up, was mainly when he started fighting the void, really. Because eventually the void pins the other four to the wall, and he just starts talking to Bob and all the things that he says, and then eventually Bob starts fucking absolutely brutalizing him. Can't actually see it, but because he's black. But
the void's basically bait. I said basically now. The void, it's baiting Bob into consuming the darkness and the evil. Whereas, and then the team wants to pull him back to the light.
Because when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light.
Oh yeah,
that's
sure.
That's the Firefly thing.
Yeah.
Going back to The Last of Us, because I know you like it.
Fuck no.
But yeah, then Bob's like slamming. He's just ground and pounding the void. The void is just laughing at him, saying, like, yeah, keep doing that. Like, let it consume you or whatever.
And then
there is one of my favorite lines actually right here, and he says, in the trailer they make it sound like he says it to all of them, but I think in the movie he just says it to Bob. He said, "You want to be some great savior, but you can't even save yourself."
That's a great line, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. But he's like ground and pounding the void. The void's laughing at him, and then you can see the void is like creeping up Bob. But then eventually they break. Yelena gets out. She basically is holding him back, saying, "I'm here with you. You're not alone." And then John breaks out. Bucky breaks out. All of them break out, and they hold him back. They're there with him. He now is not alone. And then they break out of the void.
Which is cool. They all needed to work together to, escape.
Is that a bird?
Oh yeah, it's a bird outside.
If you let the apex predator do its job, there would be no bird.
There's a few birds. I closed it.
That's the way the food chain is, buddy.
Right.
That just turns out cats are above birds, so that bird's fucked. Either the kitty gets him, or someone else will.
Right.
Anyway, they break out of the void. The void's darkness starts to creep away out of Manhattan. All the people that got vanished start to come back. The little girl you see come back. She's on a completely different spot now, but she comes back. Yeah, all these people start coming back. At some point, I don't know when she did it, but a whole press conference was set up and ready to go,
That was pretty funny.
and they were right next to her as well.
Imagine they killed her right there, and then like all the news is right there. That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, basically they go and they do the what is her fucking name? Valentina.
Valentina, Valentina, De Fontaine or something like that.
Some bullshit. But yeah, they do the press conference thing, and this is when she says she set up this team to defeat the Void or whatever, and then meet the new Avengers, and that's when they reveal that they're the new Avengers, which is a comic line. We can go over that at a different time as well, which I think in the comics it's actually a different group of people. Well, a couple of them are different. I think all of them are technically part of it, but I think the original isn't the ones that we got, except Sentry. And I think Bucky is also a part of it. But I think there's versions of it where Wolverine is part of it. There's one where I think Red Hulk is part of it at some point, which they
To be
could
honest,
have done.
I thought that's why the Thunderbolts were called the Thunderbolts.
Well, I guess we should say the reason they were calling themselves the Thunderbolts in the movie is because it was Yelena's soccer team was like sponsored by some like garage or something.
Because like that shit was funny. Oh, I honestly thought they named it after. I thought Thunderbolt. I thought Ross was the leader of the Thunderbolts. Like he put the team together.
But I think that's
'Cause
also why Bucky says we can't call ourselves that
right, yeah, yeah.
because this movie takes place after the Red Hulk stuff happens. And then yeah,
They
they do the
mention it
thing.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they do the press conference. They call New Avengers. Yelena tells Valentina, "We own you now," because obviously what she was saying was a complete lie, but she's good now. And then we skip 14 months ahead, and just did we skip? Or was the movie end right there, and then the mid credit scene, not the mid one, the end credit scene skips 14 months. I think it's the mid credit scene or the end credit one that skips 14 months.
Yeah, I think so.
But basically the movie ends, and then they do like the animated credits with all like the artwork and whatever, and then there's a mid credit where it's Alexi at the supermarket. The Thunderbolts are put onto, or the New Avengers are put onto a Wheaties box, which is a joke or one of the jokes in the movie that he says he wants to be on the Wheaties box, and then he does. And then there's one after the main credits, which is the actual big one, which this was filmed on the set of Doomsday by the Russo brothers. And basically it's just Bucky gets a new uniform, which is awesome. It's a cool uniform. They all get
All her hair is like really long and fancy too.
all of them. John's shield is still tacoed. Never got it fixed because the only one that could fix it is fucking Sentry, and he's not gonna go Sentry mode because if he does, he'll go Void. Uh, which I don't know if he's able to control it somehow. We'll get into that when we go over his lore. Whenever we do that, which I think there's a point. I did see something where there's a comic where he does get killed by. We'll just go over this real quick. I don't because this character's not even in the movies yet. Well, I guess he kind of is, but he gets the Void gets killed by Null.
Oh, wow.
Which I guess they could, and Null is technically part of the universe if they ever decide to bring him in fully. So if Null and Sentry are ever alive in the same movie, Sentry's probably going to get ripped in half. There's also a comic line where Thor kills him too, I think. Whenever he's Lord Thor or whatever it was called. But yeah. But yeah, the mid credit scene, they're like yapping about how Sam copyrighted the word Avengers because he doesn't like that they're called the Avengers. And then the spacecraft enters the atmosphere, and they don't know what it is. And then they put it on the big screen. The rocket turns, and it's Fantastic Four entering the 616 universe, which kind of spoils that movie a little bit because now we know they leave their universe, but that's
Yeah,
how that ends.
it is a bit spoilerish, but yeah, it's pretty much setting up Doomsday.
But yeah, that's the movie. Yeah.
9 out of 10. Great movie. Would watch again.
And I got Speedy here yapping.
Yeah, I know. Let's move this along. I gotta take care of something.
So you're playing on Nightmare? I am.
Yeah, I am too. He's calling us up because he's playing on Nightmare.
Yeah.
All games on hard from now on.
But yeah, that's the movie. Go check it out before it leaves theaters. It'll probably be on digital in like a month. I don't know.
It's really good. It's really good. Not glazing.
Go see it in theaters, at Regal, or anything other than AMC. Fuck them motherfucking ass bitches. Fuck Wells Fargo. Fuck Pandora. Fuck AMC. Fuck Koolme. Fuck Last of Us Season 2. Fuck.
Is getting added to this list now. The Last of Us Season 2. Fuck you.
That's it. That's all the fucks I have.
To give.
That's all the fucks. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week with. Maybe we'll do the Century Lore next episode.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be all Marvel based.
And at some point, we're also going to do Doctor Doom lore.
I think when we get closer to
we'll do that eventually, yeah. We could also do Fantastic Four lore.
We should do that before the movie drops.
We'll do Century lore, and then we'll do Fantastic Four lore in July at some point before the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.